Today on Let's Talk Schools, we're heading in to the cafeteria to see what school nutrition is cooking up. Hello, I'm Mike Looney, the Superintendent of Schools here in Fulton County. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Schools. Today we're going to talk about something that we all know something about, and that is food. We're going to be talking about child nutrition programming here in Fulton County Schools, and I have the resident expert, Alyssa Wright. Alyssa, thank you so much for being here. You do a tremendous job, and you've been recognized on many levels, including the national level. So we're so blessed to have you in our district.
Thank you.
Talk to us a little bit about your background. How did you get to be the Director of Child Nutrition Services?
Well, this is my 25th year, and I must say it has been an amazing journey. I actually started in Fulton County in 1998 as a manager intern, and I have literally probably had every job in school nutrition up to now with being the executive director. I've been executive director now for 12 years.
You do incredible work. How many meals do we serve on average on a normal day?
In a normal day, about 76,000 meals a day, 12 million meals a year.
76,000 meals a day. And students get some choice.
They do.
In what they eat.
They do, and we're so fortunate and happy with the amount of choices that we're able to offer our students. In high school, they get the option of up to 12 choices, and we have implemented some brand new menu items this year. Our high school students get to walk up to the line and prepare their salad as they, with the server helping them, pretty much like a Chipotle or a local restaurant, and the same with the deli bar. So those are two new things that we're offering this year specifically for our students. We have a strawberry fields salad, which is strawberries and spinach and cheese, and we have a power pack and just amazing food for our students. And so we're so excited to be able to continue to stay on trend and offer them items that they see out in your local restaurant.
Well, I know that, the saying goes, you can't get to a person's mind when they have an empty stomach. And that's so true. I know we offer a breakfast program in many of our schools, but not all. So we offer in all of our schools now. So in every single school, you can eat breakfast and lunch.
You sure can.
And so I know that we have a free and reduced lunch process. Yeah. The last couple of years, we were able to give everybody free meals because of a federal government waiver, but that's gone now. And so what is the price of a regularly paid meal, and what is the price for reduced meals?
Absolutely. So breakfast for elementary school students is $1.10, and for middle and high school students, it's $1.25. For lunch, it's $2.45 for our elementary school students, and $2.70 for our middle and high school students. Our reduced students is 30 cents for breakfast and 40 cents for lunch. And you're correct. The waivers, the COVID-19 waivers allowed us to feed all students at no cost last year, and actually for the last 2 years. Unfortunately, those waivers are now gone, and so we really encourage our parents to complete a free reduced meal application. The free reduced meal application will offer other benefits outside of meals, but it will also offer their students the opportunity to eat a hot and cold option for breakfast and lunch at school. Some of those outside options are discounts that they can receive on internet services, college applications, discounts on their SAT and ACT application fees. And so there are many reasons for families to go ahead and just get the application completed. And they want to get that done before October 31st. That will benefit the families and, of course, the schools as well. Because
we get reimbursed from the federal government for the cost of the meals.
We do, and also other programs benefit from our free and reduced rate as a district, such as Title I and an E-rate.
Sure. So question, if a parent wants to fill out an application, how do they get to an application?
The easiest way to complete an application and the quickest is to go online and complete it and submit it online. It is completely confidential. They can access the meal application through the Fulton County Schools website and click on the button that says school menus. And once they click that button, they can navigate to our free and reduced meal application.
You know, times have changed so much. I was a child on reduced lunch. And I remember when I went to the cashier, I used to have to tell them, you know, I'm on reduced lunch. And that was always an embarrassment to me because I was a child of poverty. But today, that all is confidential. And so when the student gets to the register, that no longer happens because they do something else, where they punch in a code or something?
Right, they do. So as the student approaches the line, the student will either have a meal card, typically in our elementary schools. We can ring up students by homeroom with their picture, so it's important to take those school pictures. And we can also, students can also enter in their student ID. And that student ID is their student PIN number that they have, and that is attached to them as long as they are a student here in Fulton County. USDA regulations have put measures in place to prevent students from being identified by their free, reduced, or paid status. And it's important that students know we do not want any student whatsoever to feel embarrassed, but yet comfortable coming to eat with us. And we offer amazing food, so why not come and enjoy that at a low cost, regardless of what your eligibility status is.
Right, and so there are a lot of criteria for eligibility, and so we would encourage everybody to fill out an application.
Everyone.
And if you
Regardless of
qualify,
income.
great. If you don't, then that's just as well, but at least let the process run to see if you're entitled to something that all other citizens are entitled to. And so it's really, really important that our students have balanced, well nutrition while at school. So I want to address a rumor.
Okay.
Is there really such a thing as Taco Tuesday in Fulton County Schools?
There is, and we do. So now they do it. It's nachos. So
Okay.
it's we still call it Taco Tuesday.
Okay.
And it's one of those staples that students will not let us remove or get removed from. So we do we do nachos with queso sauce now. So your white cheese sauce, we've stepped it up a bit. We still do pizza on Fridays, and we have an amazing assortment of pizza, and everything from meat lovers to cheese. So we have everything a student could possibly want offered in our program.
Okay, well, I happen to like tacos, so I'll make sure I choose a school cafeteria on Tuesday to go eat at. Let me ask you something else. You and I recently went on a really cool visit where there's a local company that grows vegetables in a house, in a essentially a very large greenhouse.
Right.
And we had some really good conversations about farm to school.
Yes.
Do we participate in farm to school programs? If so, what does that really mean? What does it look like? And what would you want our viewing audience to know about that?
Well, we're so excited about it. We have been participating in Farm to School since 2011, and we serve about 7 million items of local produce in our schools that are either locally grown or regionally grown. And what I want families to know is that we do our very best to incorporate local whenever we possibly can, and it is offered daily. We offer everything from squash to zucchini. We feature a local farmer every month through our Farm to School program and our Farm to School initiative that actually helps to educate our students in the classroom on the farmers and their farm and what they actually produce on their farm.
Okay, but so can any farmer participate in that, or do you have to meet some specific criteria in order to be eligible to do business with the district?
You do. As with any other regulation that USDA requires, it requires that the food is grown properly without pesticides as such, and it meets other criteria that is set forth by them. And that helps to ensure that our students are receiving the very best and safe local produce that they can possibly receive.
Interesting. So it's lettuce,
Yes.
squash, essentially any
lettuce,
locally grown produce.
Locally or regional.
Okay.
And if it can't, we will try to get as local or as close to regional as possible. I mentioned yellow squash, zucchini, we do broccoli, we have collard greens, kale, whatever you can imagine, we're serving it in our school, and it's coming from a farm close by.
And do you anticipate that growing further?
I do, and we're always seeking to increase the amount of fruits and vegetables that are offered to our students daily, and especially the amount of items that are fresh. And as you mentioned, we toured a facility that was very close to here, that is getting closer and closer. And so we're finding that the thought of being on a farm and out in overalls and a t-shirt is gone. There are facilities and buildings that can actually prepare and produce those fresh fruits and vegetables in a greenhouse.
Without herbicides,
Without
organic,
pesticides, yes.
much better for the environment, less water utilization.
Yes.
Really interesting things.
And I think that's the way of the future. We really need to find ways to, because we're not getting any more land.
Right.
Land is not continuing to become available, so we need to find ways to find opportunities for other growth for fresh fruits and vegetables.
So talk to me about your team. I know that we have almost 90,000 students, close to 100 just regular traditional schools. That's a lot of staff to be in charge of, very important group of team members preparing meals and serving students. Are you fully staffed? What are the greatest challenges that you have as it relates to keeping and attracting new team members?
Well, I'm happy to say that we are as close to being fully staffed as we've been in a very long time. Turnover is very high. We're at 97% staffed on our food service workers. We're 86% staffed on our school nutrition managers. And that's just through people retiring or finding other opportunities. I would say the biggest challenge is just that, the turnover. We were very fortunate and pleased with our board for affording us the opportunity to raise our hourly rate, making us the highest in the state, I believe, still.
Oh, wow.
Last year we raised it from $12.81 to $16. And this year, with the increase, we're at $16.48. So I believe that's still the highest in the state of Georgia. So we've been able to attract the food service workers from all areas. And we have a lot of benefits with working in school nutrition. You're able to have a schedule that is aligned to our students. You're off when the students are off pretty much. And you have an opportunity to have your nights and your weekends to yourself and with your family. Benefits, our managers have access to TRS retirement, and our food service workers have access to pension. So it's a lot of great benefits with working here in Fulton, and it affords you the opportunity to still be at home.
Right. Plus you get to see hundreds and hundreds of smiling kids.
Yes.
Every single day.
Yes. I would say that our staff sees more students in a day probably than close to anyone in the school, because all of our students pass through our line.
Well, certainly the cafeteria or lunchroom, whatever we want to call it, is one of the hubs of the school. It's where there's a lot of activity, right? A lot of socialization, lots of smiles.
It is.
And learning to get along with others.
It is.
Really, really powerful work. So I know that there are a lot of regulations that come with federal dollars, and you have to be the keeper, the overseer of making sure we're in compliance with the federal government standards relating to the amount of fat and salt that we give students, all the way to making sure that we spend the money appropriately. Yes. What's the greatest challenge dealing with the federal regulations that you have to deal with on a regular basis?
The paperwork.
The paperwork.
We, School Nutrition operates a $46 million program here in Fulton. And with that, I would say 75% of that is revenue given to us by the federal government based on the number of meals we serve. And so we're able, because of that, we have to remain in compliance. Our managers are the boots on the ground, and they do a tremendous job every single day of just making sure that we remain just that, in compliance. So they have to make sure that we successfully pass health inspections 2 times a year. But with those USDA regulations, they require you to make sure that you account for everything that comes from the back door, that goes through the front door until it's served to a student. And literally every piece of item. So,
well, thank you for doing such a fantastic job of making sure that we're in compliance. More importantly, thank you so much for leaning in and making sure that our students are fed a good, healthy breakfast and lunch. They have the opportunity to eat a breakfast and lunch. Your leadership has made a profound difference in the lives of our students. Thank you so much for your service. Folks, thank you so much for joining us for another Let's Talk School session. Parents, please be reminded that we do have free and reduced lunch applications available to you, and the application deadline is the end of October. We encourage you to make application to see what happens. As always, it's been a pleasure. And now, let's go around the district in 90 seconds. That's it for our show this week. Let's keep the conversation going. We'd love to hear from you on our social media platforms. Join us next time on Let's Talk Schools. And, as always, thank you for watching.